Pleiadian Nibiru and Anunnaki, Galactic Federation, Archangel Michael Collective, Ashtar Command, and the Anu Melchizedek Legions. Okay. Many Ruby Order, Emerald Covenant defectors, including Galactic Federation, Ashtar Command, Archangel Michael Matrix, Anu Melchizedeks, and Pleiadian Nibiru and Anunnaki, were responsible for manipulation and digression of the earthly angelic human lineage since 25,500 BC. But part of the things that we teach are identification of who's who and what's what. And that gets us into trouble all the time. Because sometimes on the path of spiritual growth, there are things that aren't fluffy and light and sweet. Sometimes there are things that are very serious and that aren't pleasant. And especially on Earth for the last 25,000 years, we've had a lot of that happening. Because if you do not understand the history, which, as we talked about in Cathara, time is simultaneous, it means the history is still happening now in its own time vector. If we don't understand the history, we're not going to understand what's happening in the contemporary drama on the planetary level. We're not going to understand who is who in the contemporary drama. We're not going to understand why the New Age movement right now is being ripped apart at the seams. And this is very sad because it wasn't intended to do that. Right now, there are two forces working within the New Age movement. One is a Christos program that has to do with personal healing and planetary healing. And there is another that is an anti-Christos program, which means it is going out of its way to ensure that the planetary divine blueprint does not anchor here, because certain groups of individual beings and collectives have a vested interest in making sure the planetary divine blueprint does not get anchored. But when I talk about divine blueprint, we're talking about something substantial and real in tangible terms in relation to planetary mechanics. You'll begin to understand something about a very huge secret that's been kept from this race since the Atlantean period. It's called the Secrets of Amente. The Secrets of Amente refer to the Halls of Amente. The Halls of Amente are part of the planetary, galactic, and universal Stargate system. They are Earth's part of that Stargate system. The Halls of Amente have been a buried secret since Atlantean times because there were certain forces that got control of this planet in Atlantis that had a very vested interest in gaining control over the Halls of Amente Stargates. Because of that, Earth has been a target. Now, the Halls of Amente Stargates are very interesting because in spiritual tradition, you could translate the science of Stargates into the science of ascension passages, because the process of spiritual and physical ascension takes place through the universal, planetary universal, and cosmic stargates. That's how you get out of density. That's how you go home to God. That's how we got in here in the first place. The Azurite security team also serves as the overseeing guardians of the 12 primary stargates. So they are the they're the ones that hold the gate keys. They will determine whether someone is a danger or not, is what it comes down to. Everybody's welcome, but you're not going to go through a gate if you pose a danger to the structural integrity of the particular system. The Azurite Templar security team is also commissioned to promote the Emerald Covenant Co-Evolution Agreement Peace Treaty and the Melchizedek Cloister Ascension and Bioregenesis programs and the Law of One and the Inner Christos teachings. So they have a commission as well to when they go into systems, they bring back these original divine blueprint parts of the divine blueprint knowledge, because all of these things, the Law of One, the Melchizedek Cloister Ascension programs, all of those things were the heritage of anybody in this time matrix, because they were part of the divine blueprint, the original idea, the original intention that was set for this time matrix. So they were always the carriers of this data. Now these are the Azurites. Guardian Alliance, GA, Guardian Alliance. It was created by the Interdimensional Association of Free World between 570 and 568 million years ago. So this is a younger organization. It was created during another restatement of the Emerald Covenant because, again, there were major wars that broke out that almost threatened to take the whole matrix in. And every time that happened, the founders' races would help to get it under control so it didn't, destroy the whole time matrix. Then there'd be a restatement of any races that wanted to be in the Emerald Covenant could come over and play nice, and then there would be the ones who chose not to. So they were created, the Guardian Alliance was created between 570 and 568 million years ago during a restatement of the Emerald Covenant, during which the Orifeme angelic human lineage was created. These were the ones that had more template coding arranged in a certain way that they could go into density 1 as well as the middle and high densities and survive there for long periods of time. Because the Azurites had sensitivities to the carbons that were in the atmosphere in density 1, and they couldn't live for prolonged periods on places like Earth or anything in density 1. And because there was so much problem starting in density 1 with the Phantom Matrix people, that they needed security force down here as well. And the Azurite groups were very tired. They were the original Ascended Masters collectives that came in to try to fix stuff, and after, you know, billions of years or millions of years, they're still trying to fix stuff. There was a new wave that came in, a new breath of Ascended Masters breathed itself into manifestation to relieve some of the others so they could ascend back out and kind of regenerate and take a vacation after a very long tour. Okay. All right. The GA was formed as a task force to increase security in our time matrix when the Anu Elohim fallen angelic legions created the Anunnaki race line 568 million years ago to destroy the Orifeme angelic human lineages and the races of the Emerald Covenant. So 568 million years ago, in retaliation for the founders creating, or the Yanis creating another guardian form called the Orifeme angelic human, the Anunnaki retaliated, or the Anu Elohim retaliated, and 568 million years ago created the first Anunnaki races. They were the Avengers of Anu. They were created specifically, and their templates were coded with literally, almost like the subliminal program, to kill and destroy anything that was not Anu Elohim. And that included the founders' races, and it included the humans, and it included any Emerald Covenant races. They were the anti-Emerald Covenant races. The Guardian Alliance specializes in propagation of the Emerald Covenant and serves as the governing body of over 10 million Emerald Covenant Star League nations within 4 densities of matter in our time matrix. The GA is directed by the Yanis, Density 5 MC Iani Master Council of the Elohai Elohim Emerald Order, Christos Founders Races, and the IAFW. The GA is the administrative body of the 12 GA Signet Councils. Each of the 12 GA Signet Councils is appointed by the Yanis and IAFW to serve as the primary guardians of one of the 12 Universal Stargates in the Universal Templar Complex. Each of the 12 GA Signet Councils is composed of 2 master command committees and 2 subordinate command committees and many other smaller organizations. GA Signet Councils 10, 11, and 12 represent the Lyran High Council races as they protect the stargates of the Cradle of Lyra in Density 4, the passageway into and out of density for seeding incoming creation and for ascension out of the time matrix. So the Cradle of Lyra is protected by the Lyran High Council races. The Emerald Order, Terran, Melchizedek, Cloister, Iani, Preserver, and the Anahazi, Feline Hominid, Gold Order, Seraphi, Seraphim, Avian, Ceres, and Amethyst Order, Brahmarama, Cetacean, Inu are the governing body. Now, governing command committee is the Emerald Gold Order, Ashalam Command. The second command committee, Ashalam, means peace, or I go in peace, or I am peace. So that's what that word means. Okay, the second command committee was Ashtar Command. Ring any bells with anybody? Yeah. Okay. Which is made up of Amethyst Order Brahmarama, overseeing rehabilitating Anunnaki races that entered the Emerald Covenant. It once included the Syrian and Nibiruan Anunnaki organizations participating in bioregenesis through the Emerald Covenant. Anunnaki branches of the Alcyon Council are referred to as the Ruby Order Anu Elohim in Anunnaki. Ruby Order groups include the Nibiruan Councils of 9, 12, and 24. If anybody's heard of the Council of 9, 12, and 24, they usually don't put Nibiru before it. All right. The Palladian Nibiruan Anunnaki, Galactic Federation, Archangel Michael Collective, Ashtar Command, and the Anu Melchizedek Legions. Okay. Many Ruby Order Emerald Covenant defectors, including Galactic Federation, Ashtar Command, Archangel Michael Matrix, Anu Melchizedek's and Palladian Nibiruan Anunnaki, were responsible for manipulation and digression of the earthly angelic human lineage since 25,500 BC. This was their joint doing, what we're sitting in the middle of now, the genetic distortions and the planetary grid distortions. These groups temporarily joined the Emerald Covenant during the 1992 AD Syrian Palladian agreements and entered the Guardians' July 5, 2000 Treaty of Altair. On September 12, 2000, the majority of these groups defected from GA Signet Council 5, LCM Council, to join the United Intruder Resistance. It's just United Resistance, but United Intruder Resistance, with draconian fallen angelic legions in promotion of the Earth pole shift agenda. Some groups accepted amnesty contracts from the GA and IAFW, remaining in the Emerald Covenant. It is very difficult for humans to detect what agenda affiliation these groups may have now. Caution is advised in contact or channeling communication. So this is where these people fit. They were originally part of LCM Council. They were loved by the founders so much that even after all the nonsense for millions and billions of years that have been going on, the ones that did want to come back into the Emerald Covenant and showed, after a while that they could be trusted, that they weren't going to try to suck, your planet into Phantom Matrix, they were actually appointed as, part of the guardians over one of the gates. They wanted to be treated fairly, they wanted to be treated equally, so they were given that opportunity. And that has been a nightmare ever since it was done, because literally those opportunities were used for infiltration of stargates. They've literally had a hold of Stargate 4, the solar gate, the one that connects this planet to the sun, since 25,500 BC. They've completely controlled it. That's why there's very little Guardian presence or history records or channeling happening. Why don't the Guardians talk to people? Because the grids are blocked, that's why. And it's been like that for 25,500 years. So I just wanted you to kind of tune into what's happening. That's where those names that are very common in the New Age movement are fitting. And there's a bunch of others with them. But they're all associated with each other. They're different collectives, but they all have one thing in common. And that's Anunnaki genetic ancestry. They're all part of Anunnaki groups. Okay, some of the Ruby Order people are still trying. They're on amnesty contracts, where literally their whole collective is going over, but the ones who really don't want to go over into the Phantom Agenda, ask for amnesty contracts. Please, we don't want to be a part of this. Help. They don't need redemption contracts because they were doing all right to begin with, but they're not going to be pulled down. So there are some people. That's why there will be people that will be brought into workshops like this that are Anunnaki souls, that are on amnesty contract or redemption contract. They want out of the battle. That's why you can't say, oh, because it's Anunnaki or Draconian, that means it's bad, and then, only human or indigo is good. You will totally miss the point there, because there are so many things happening. There are agendas. That's what's important to look at. Is the agenda that a being is running, whatever that being is it supportive of the eternal life principle of the Christos in this time matrix? That's what the Christos represents, the eternal life principle, where life can continue on and on through the structure that's here. Or does it detract from that? That's where the value judgment comes in, where you can make a decision whether or not you're going to entertain the ideas of a certain person. Like a certain person may embody the opposite of the Christos ideals, but that doesn't mean you pass judgment on the being, because you don't know who they are, why they might be showing you that they have those ideals. So that's where love comes in.
The sacred science mechanics by which the planetary Christos realignment can be fulfilled have long been hidden within the legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The Round Table of Arthurian legend referred to signet councils. The word signet also refers to stargates. In the ancient knowledge of the Palladia-Urtite cloister races, the signet councils were the specific groups of angelic humans that assembled to run the corrected fire letter sequences into Earth's planetary shields during stellar activation cycles to prevent pole shift and progressively restore Earth's D12 Christos divine blueprint, otherwise known as the Shield of Aramatena. The Round Table of Arthurian legend referred to the Rainbow Round Table. The Rainbow Round Tables are groups of angelic humans assembled in 4 evolutionary rounds, who are commissioned to run the rainbow ray or Kunda ray primal sound current from beyond the 15-dimensional time matrix into Earth's planetary shields during stellar activation cycles. Running of the rainbow round during SACs, or stellar activation cycles, which I'll use from now on, SACs, enables the planet to retain its natural electromagnetic balances to avert pole shift and restores the organic D12 planetary Christos alignment. Since the 9558 BC Atlantean flood, knowledge of the Rainbow Round Tables has been intentionally hidden from the angelic human races of contemporary Earth by human Illuminati and fallen angelic races that desire to create pole shift during the long-anticipated 2000 through 2017 AD sack. They hope to use the 2000-2017 sack to finally fulfill their plan of clearing Earth's real estate of angelic human races to later resettle their hybrid races on Earth after the dust settles, under a one-world order, anti-Christic agenda of totalitarian exploitation and dominion. Now, the conspiracy. The fallen angelic Illuminati human anti-Christic agenda gained a stronghold on Earth in 2500 BC, when Nibiru and Marduk Anunnaki, which are composed of Anunnaki, Omicron, and Draconians, seized control of Nibiru and Earth's D4 Universal Solar Stargate 4 in an event known as the Lucifer Rebellion. The name Lucifer comes from a hybrid Pleiadian Nibiruin Anunnaki race that emerged through combining the density 2 Nibiruin Lulitan family of the Toth Enki Zephylium Anunnaki lineage with the Satane family of the Marduk Anunnaki line and the D11 Necromaton, the beetle reptiles, the fallen seraphim race of Andromeda. From this hybridization, the Pleiadian Sanjazi Luciferian Anunnaki and Marduk Necromaton Luciferian Anunnaki races of Sirius B, Nibiru, and Alpha and Omega Centauri emerged. This collective of Anunnaki races promoting an anti-Christic dominion agenda became known historically as the Luciferians, and were occasionally joined by other Anunnaki and Illuminati human race lines in their quest for the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is a term used in reference to the 12 universal signet stargates of the Universal Templar Complex, to which the angelic human race holds the sacred commission of guardian. The Grail quest began long before angelic humans were seated on Earth, and it has been the primary theme of motivation behind all of the forbidden and recorded distorted human history. The Grail quest for Earth's planetary Templar stargates continued into angelic human 12 tribe seeding 3, following destruction of seedings 1 and 2 via Grail quest wars with Anunnaki and Draconian fallen angelic legions. During the 2500 BC Lucifer Rebellion, Anunnaki Luciferians gained partial control over Earth's Templar through a device called the Nibiruian Dyadic Crystal Grid, which is still in operation today and serves a key role in the potential outcome of the 2000 through 2017 AD stellar activation cycle. In 3650 BC, the Nibiruan Luciferians orchestrated the Mayan raids, and in 3470 BC, the Babylon massacre was waged, in which Pleiadian Nibiruan legions, Galactic Federation, and the Anu Melchizedek human Illuminati gained temporary control over the Magi Grail King's Ark of the Covenant gold box, which contained the rod and staff Stargate tools. In conjunction with the Nibiruan Dyadic Crystal Grid at Stonehenge, England, the Ark tools were used in Babylon to cause temporary collapse of Earth's magnetic grids and set portions of the fire letter sequences in Earth's planetary shields into reverse sequence. Planetary shield distortions of the 3470 BC Babylon massacre caused mutation in the human DNA template that shortened the human lifespan, blocked higher sensory perception, caused loss of race memory, and scrambling of our original language patterns, which are built upon DNA template fire letter sequencing. Our race has been amnesiac, dying young, and babbling on in rhetorical conflict ever since. This historic event was recorded as the biblical Tower of Babel story. Following the Babylon massacre of 3470 BC, fallen angelic selected chosen ones, Anu Melchizedek hybrid descendants, for minimal DNA template repair and implantation, through which the Luciferians and competing Jehovian Anunnaki and Draconian legions could begin their progressive infiltration of human spiritual and political systems. Through the technology of remote channeling, conducted through unnatural DNA template implantation, the chosen ones have been progressively fed Anunnaki history and distorted patriarchal, war god spiritual teachings in a strategic and intentional replacement of the angelic human heritage. They are once again channeling to us and visiting today as the dominant force in the New Age and UFO movements. The D12 Maharic seal channels can create protection from interdimensional manipulation of their natural bioneurological communication lines. You find that's why we stress it so often. Following their 2668 BC Dozer invasion of Egypt, Galactic Federation continued their previous alliance with the Anunnaki of the Luciferian Covenant, temporarily stealing the Ark of the Covenant gold box and tools in 2024 BC. At this time, they launched an attempted world dominion assault called the Dead Sea Conquest, beginning with Babylonia and Sumerian cities in the areas of the Dead Sea. The biblical stories of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah referred to this event. God did not destroy these ancient cities any more than God orchestrated the scrambling of the languages in the 3470 BC Babylon massacre. God is not a fallen angelic ET. If Magi, Grail King, angelic human races had not retrieved the Ark of the Covenant gold box and tools in 2024 BC, the Jehovian and Luciferian Anunnaki races of Galactic Federation would dominate the world by now. Since the time of the staged 9558 BC Atlantean flood, human history has been a progressive advancement of the Atlantean conspiracy and Luciferian covenant anti-Christos agendas. The stories of Noah, Abraham, Moses, the Hyksos kings, and the three Christs are key pieces to the Atlantean conspiracy drama. At the center of all this is the Ark of the Covenant gold box, its Stargate tools, and the core objective of the ancient fallen angelic Illuminati human Grail quest. Competing Jehovian Anunnaki, Luciferian Anunnaki, and Omicron, Odedicron, and Zephylium Draconian Reptilian fallen angelics, and their Anu Melchizedek Illuminati human hybrid race descendants, who are also known as the Leviathan Antichristic king lines, share one objective, and that is dominion of Earth in order to claim Earth's halls of Amenti stargates. If the fallen angelic races can gain dominion of Earth's halls of Amenti stargates, they intend to use the Amenti stargates to destroy Universal Stargate 12 in Density 4. Destruction of Universal Stargate 12 would effectively seal off from Density 5 Founders Race Protection 11 dimensions of our 15-dimensional time matrix. The manifest life field would become imprisoned in time for fallen angelic exploitation and dominion, unable to fulfill the natural evolutionary process of ascension. This is the core motivation behind the fallen angelic's continuing Grail quest. Prevention of this anti-Christos agenda is the purpose for which the angelic human races were created.